I guess you got the drop on 50 Cent one time?
We thought we did until we got in there. Mike called us, told he was up there. I got up there. We got up there, we came in, and they had Navy SEALs with it, 2 in all directions. Probably about 6 of them. Walkies in their ear, vested, guns strapped to their thigh, bullies on them, semis on them, magazine cartridges. I said, yeah, he ain't slipping.
Today's not the day.
Nah, 50 moved different.
And did 50
I'm glad
see
that
you?
didn't happen. He see me, but he didn't know that's what we was on. We never approached him. I'm glad it never happened. Things worked out.
Wack 100 thought he could catch 50 Cent off guard and press him, but that move almost turned deadly real quick. Today, we're breaking down how this wild situation even started, because the roots of this beef go way back to the Game. At the time, Wack was Game's manager, while Game and 50 were already locked in serious tension, and that's when things got messy. Wack had heavy influence in LA and strong ties to Death Row Records, running close with Suge Knight. When Wack first met Game, the vibe was already tense, with people around him ready to jump Game in the streets. Wack pulled up while the block was fully charged, and at the same time, Game was clashing with Suga over working with Dr. Dre.
Game was trying to get in, and they was like, we can't let you in. Game like, what you mean you can't let me in? Like 50 in there. So Game called me, I come down there, I talk to the owner, and I'm like, yo, what's the problem? And like, Wack, 50 got a clause in the contract that says if we let Game in, we gotta pay him double the rate, so on and so forth.
We was in some shit. Like, we had to move like the military, you know what I'm saying? Bulletproof vests, bulletproof cars, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we didn't really have to worry about that before him, you know what I'm saying? But so the shit really got street shit quick.
Rumors even say Suge once dragged Game off a stage and checked him hard, and that chaos set the stage for everything that followed. Things heated up when the Game got pulled into rap drama with Yuckmouth, who went at him hard on tracks, questioning where Game was really from and throwing shots tied to Suge Knight. Game didn't respond directly to Yuckmouth, but he did aim bars at Suge Knight, making it clear the tension was real and personal. At that time, everyone knew Wack 100 was still close with Suga, so when Wack showed up to a street where Game was surrounded, Game thought the night might end bad. Suge even pulled up, but Wack stepped in and made sure nothing exploded, keeping the situation controlled. Months later, Wack linked Game for a studio move through mutual street ties, put up $10,000 out his own pocket, and Game returned the favor with a feature for free. That moment locked in their relationship, and Game later rapped about how Wack really showed up and made it happen.
Shit, somebody said, Suge Knight here. And 50 I was at the bar, Game was there, he was shooting in the club scene, and he stopped, and Suge came in with 30 Mexicans, like you said, which is weird, you know what I'm saying?
He always wrong with the Mexican. La Meridian, La Moran or some shit. It's SLS now on La Cienega, right by the Beverly Center. We thought we did. Somebody called us, told he was up there. I got up there. We came in.
How deep were you?
About 15.
This is how the Game really moved back then. Wack later explained how Game walked into the booth mid-session, dropped 10,000 cash, and didn't even finish a sentence, saying real recognizes real. From that moment, Game and Wack 100 were locked in tight, moving like a package deal, no questions asked. By the time Wack stepped in, Game and 50 Cent had already been beefing for years. Things escalated fast, spilling into street chaos, and not long after, 50 kicked Game out of G-Unit and blasted him on the radio. Even knowing 50 survived being shot multiple times, Wack still thought he could press him when 50 came to the West Coast. Wack got the hotel location, rolled up deep, and walked into the bar thinking he had the upper hand, but the energy flipped instantly. That's when Wack realized 50 was moving militant, fully secured, and that the situation could have ended right there if 50 wanted it to.
We came to understanding, they less dispersed. I went and introduced myself to Game, shook his hand, he shook mine, we got on. I get up there, pull in, sure enough, Game, 4 or 5 people. Behind Game's Billy, they had a whole street.
When Wack and his crew walked into that hotel bar, the whole mood shifted instantly. 50 Cent wasn't just protected, he was fortified. His security looked like a private military unit, bulletproof vests on, radios in their ears, eyes locked on every move. Wack came in thinking it might turn into a quick scuffle, but once he clocked how serious 50 was moving, reality set in fast.
He's just a crazy nigga, bro.
That's crazy.
I told you, pull the strap out in the Apollo, like with Jimmy Henchman. Pull the strap out. Niggas wanna do, nigga. It's the Fox, nigga. Real nigga though. That's why they call him the Fox, because you know niggas try to kill him so many times. Like even when he got killed, I didn't even believe it, because I'm like, nah, that's the Fox. He never died. Mozzie got so frustrated that he had the building surrounded, like 100 niggas around the building.
What?
Yo, niggas don't wanna pay me. Yo, I got the building surrounded.
Wack knew right there that if anything popped off, nobody on his side was walking out clean. So instead of pushing it and risking lives, Wack pulled his people back and exited, while 50 sat there smiling, calm and unbothered. That smile said everything. Later on, Wack tried to cool things down between the game and 50. One night, 50 was already lit at a club Game wanted to enter, but security shut Game down because of the ongoing beef. Wack stepped in, talked directly to the club owner, and got permission to speak with 50 face-to-face. Wack told 50 that Game wasn't looking for smoke, just peace. 50 respected it and told the club to let Game and his crew inside. The night stayed smooth, and later they all ended up at the same strip club. That's when Game decided he wanted a real face-to-face conversation. Wack went straight to 50's head of security, Monster, a quiet but feared figure with deep East Coast ties. Using mutual connections, Wack set it up low-key. No cameras, no chaos, just straight energy. Wack and Monster lined up the sit-down right in the middle of a packed strip club and made sure the energy stayed controlled. 50 Cent and the Game talked face-to-face for about 15 minutes. No yelling, no threats, just straight conversation. For a moment, it really looked like the beef was finally dead and buried. But that calm didn't last long at all. A few weeks later, the shots started flying again on social media, proving that tension never really went away. Still, Wack knew he dodged a serious situation because Monster never came after him or his people. Monster was 50's right-hand security for years, and he moved different from most guards. No interviews, no social media runs, no chasing cameras. If 50 had an issue, Monster handled it quietly and directly. There's even footage of Monster covering his face at airports so photographers couldn't get a clean look at him. And Monster wasn't just talk either. Around that same time overseas, photographers were camping outside 50's hotel in Copenhagen, thinking they were about to catch him slipping. Instead, Monster walked out first. Reports say he handled the situation fast, took control of the camera, and shut the whole thing down. After that, people really understood how serious 50's protection was and why nobody wanted to test it. That whole photo situation only lasted seconds, but it got serious fast. The photographer was reportedly hurt bad enough to be taken straight to the hospital, and that just added to Monster's reputation as someone who didn't play about protecting 50 Cent. Monster was always nearby, keeping distance between 50 and anyone moving funny, but rumors later started floating that their relationship fell apart. One story claims Monster felt like he was constantly risking his life without proper pay, and that money issues caused tension. There's even a wild rumor saying Monster took a large payout and told 50 to get it back in blood, but there's zero proof backing that up. Other sources say the opposite, that Monster simply retired, moved down south, and chose family over chaos. Monster always stayed low-key, but 50 once shouted him out on a track, making it clear how much trust he had in him. Still, Monster wasn't the only feared figure around 50 back then. Another name that rang alarms was Maserati Fox. Fox earned his nickname because people tried to take him out multiple times, and he always survived. Folks said when news finally broke that Fox was gone, nobody believed it at first, because he had beaten the odds too many times before. People swore Maserati Fox was untouchable, a real street figure who also rapped a little. Fox had a reputation that felt unreal. 50 Cent and Prodigy helped line him up with a massive record deal rumored around $1 million, but when the paperwork dragged, Fox lost patience fast. He allegedly pulled up to the label with a massive crowd just to apply pressure, saying something like, "They don't want to pay me, so I'm outside." That move alone had the industry shook. Around that same time, 50 was deep in tension with Jimmy Henchman, a feared East Coast power player with a dark reputation. Jimmy had ties to the game before Wack 100 stepped in, and the fallout turned ugly fast. After attacks and retaliation shook both sides, the streets got quieter when Jimmy was later sentenced to life. Before all that happened, though, Fox reportedly spotted Jimmy at the Apollo and pulled up on him hard, proving once again why people said Fox moved with zero fear and didn't back down from anybody. People still talk about how wild Maserati Fox really was. Stories say he once pulled a weapon inside the Apollo while confronting Jimmy henchmen, and that alone told you how fearless he moved. Tony Yayo even said Fox could hype anybody up and had zero fear of consequences, always ready to go all in. Sadly, that non-stop crashing out energy is what people believe led to his downfall. Back in 1998, Fox and his crew were riding through the city when he spotted people he already had issues with. He told the driver to stop, jumped out, exchanged heated words, then came back saying he felt disrespected. Things escalated fast after that. Shots rang out and chaos broke loose. In the middle of all that, an innocent man named Carter Scott was tragically killed, changing everything forever. His brother Jamal ran outside after hearing the noise and found the unthinkable, a moment that still haunts people to this day. Fox spent the next 16 years going in and out of jail and was reportedly targeted multiple times. 50 Cent tried to help him transition fully into rap, but Fox never left the streets behind. By 2014, after another release, Fox was back outside, sitting in a car with friends, still living that same dangerous lifestyle. That old case involving Curtis Scott was years in the past, but the danger never really left Maserati Fox. What Fox didn't realize was that Curtis's brother, Jamal Scott, had been waiting and watching. While Fox was sitting in a car, Jamal allegedly walked up and opened fire, hitting Fox multiple times. Fox stumbled out, barely able to stand, collapsed in the street, and died right there. The streets saw it as long-delayed revenge finally catching up. 50 Cent had tried more than once to pull Fox away from street life. When Fox's stepdaughter was tragically killed while riding a bus in Queens, 50 stepped in and covered the funeral, showing how deep that loyalty ran. Still, people feared Fox because you never knew what he might do next. Once 50 locked in with Dr. Dre, his entire camp started moving different. Artists around him began wearing bulletproof vests and riding in armored cars because things were that serious. And even when Suge Knight allegedly pulled up to a video shoot with a crowd, 50 didn't fold. That fearless energy is exactly why his crew moved like a real army, ready for whatever came next. The tension between Suge Knight and Dr. Dre was already deep after Dre left Death Row and built his own lane. So when Dre signed 50 Cent, things got even more heated. During a video shoot, word spread fast that Suga had pulled up outside with his crew. People panicked, some ran off, but 50 didn't move an inch. Instead, 50 walked straight up to Suge and calmly said, "What's up?" That moment changed everything. Suge quickly realized 50 wasn't the type to be pressed, and he dipped with his whole crew without another word. A few years later, chaos popped off again at the Vibe Awards. Right before Dre was set to accept a lifetime honor, a man rushed the stage trying to swing on him. The situation escalated instantly, with Young Buck stepping in to stop it before it went further. These moments explain why 50 has always been seen as untouchable. He's crossed paths with the most feared names in the streets and the industry and still stood his ground every time. That's exactly why people like Wack 100 think twice before trying to test him. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this history and chaos surrounding 50's rise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.